chords. I don't want you to freak out about this or anything, but here you see Carter's interested in these musical scales or chords, groups of notes that he can get a lot out of. Okay, so these two little four-note groups that you see there, and if the numbers underneath don't mean anything to you, that's fine. They just refer to the intervals above the starting note. So 0, 1, 4, 6, for instance, means if you start on B, 1 half step above it is C, 4 half steps above it would be either D sharp or E flat, 6 half steps above it would be F. What you find in these two different chords is that among these four notes you can get every different interval. You can find minor second, minor third, major third, and so on. So it's a rich harmonic idea. And he uses these, in the first quartet, I believe he only uses the first of these two chords. Then in the second quartet, he uses both of them. And as he goes along, on to the 50s and 60s, he starts to use bigger and bigger harmonic building blocks to get as much intervallic richness and possibility out of the smallest starting idea. So if you now turn back to the that page where I have the beginning of the first quartet, and you see I've circled certain group notes that says 0, 1, 4, 6. This just refers to places where this harmonic idea appears. Don't worry about it at all. This is one of my favorite passages from Carter, the beginning of the first string quartet. You have this really wonderful, in my view, majestic cello solo, and then at the end of it, the cello starts to play these even. Actually, what happens? Let me see. You can see that one by one, the instruments come in playing at different sorts of music at different speeds. So the cello is playing this kind of rhapsodic, kind of heroic solo. And then the second violin comes in pizzicato, playing dotted eighth notes, right? And so that implies a different speed, right? A particular speed. Carter uses rhythm to indicate tempo or speed. So the dotted the dotted eighth rather, becomes a kind of metronomic ticking speed, sort of like the piano and the cello sonata that we heard before. Then you'll see at the bottom of the second page, the first violin comes in a very high register, playing much slower. It's playing like, I think it's what, 3/4, like dotted half tied to an eighth note. So it's like the first violin in a whole different stratosphere, way up there, playing at a much slower speed. And then a couple bars later, the viola comes in playing quarter note triplets. And to me, it's just a very rich and exciting sound world of these different instruments presenting different musical ideas, different personalities, moving at different speeds. So it's pretty cool, and I've given you the first couple of pages here. This is one of 3 excerpts from this piece, so you'll hear about 2.5 minutes of this beginning. But, yeah, I like this cello solo. I hope you do too. Here's the quartet? Composer's Quartet, an American group. Composer's